You must be here to see the Rev, right?
Is the Rev around?
Andrew, yes. I've been meaning to talk to you about Megan. I'm really sorry about her, about everything.
Thank you for your concern.
I am loving just pissy Vicky after losing her daughter. Hello, everybody. We got 2 episodes of Beyond the Gates to go over. Yesterday and today's episodes. Yesterday's episode was all about the fashion show. It lacked some drama, but I still found it to be a good episode because we got a lot of Dupree family dynamics. Some of the main things that stood out yesterday that I wanted to go over, and obviously some of it played into today's episode. Specifically, Kat and Chelsea showing up for Samantha because Smitty and Martin wanted to surprise her because Samantha was excited about Chelsea's last fashion show. And so, of course, Samantha was excited to be able to go to the fashion show. And Chelsea taught her how to do the model walk. And then later they actually let her do the model walk during the fashion show. And you could tell the way they were writing yesterday's episode that this was something that Samantha was really going to enjoy. And by today's episode, she now wants to be a model. She wants Chelsea to support her. And she was talking to Smitty by the end of today's episode, hoping that she can do this because this is her passion. So as we seem to lose Chelsea as a model, the show still wants to keep fashion center stage. And I think Samantha looks like she will be the next model in the family. I will say it was kind of odd, and I'm sure others have pointed this out, that the actress that plays Samantha is older than Chelsea and Kat. So to see her being older than her aunts is another odd casting by this show. Some of the casting on the show where ages are concerned has been a head scratching, to say the least. I like the actress that plays Samantha. It's just that when she is around Chelsea and Kat, it does kind of stand out. I don't think she necessarily looks old or anything, but she does with Chelsea and Kat. So, and when I watched this with Q says Samantha has an old neck, and I kind of agree. So that kind of stands out and shows her age. But we'll see where Samantha's modeling brings her. It also seems like she's going to get a boyfriend soon because Smitty and Martin are going to let her start dating. So maybe they casted her as an older actress because her story might get intense maybe when it comes to whoever she ends up dating. Also yesterday, what stood out was Tomas kind of getting grilled by Vernon and then kind of all the guys in the family, because Kat had kind of kept Tomas away from the family. But yesterday he had to introduce himself to Vernon, Ted, Martin, Smitty, kind of all at the same time. And Kat had to end up interrupting that and saving Tomas from that situation. But it was good to see the Dupree men kind of, intimidate Tomas a little bit so they don't hurt Kat. And then I liked that Chelsea did the whole showstopper with her bag and then brought Dani to the stage, who put together the whole show and basically gave Dani her flowers. I think Dani needed that moment. Her character has been going through a lot since this show started. She didn't want to lose Chelsea to modeling. I do want to see if Dani becomes involved with the whole Samantha starting to model story. Always going to be intrigued where they take Dani. Right now, they still have her on this depression with alcohol, still being pathetic for Bill last week. But it always interests me where they take that character. But yeah, overall, yesterday's episode was just kind of a family episode, and it had its good moments that I enjoyed. Today was a lot more compelling, almost a really good episode until a certain couple of characters showed up towards the end of the episode. Let's first start with the fallout to Dana / Leslie on Monday's episode. We did not get the follow-up yesterday. On Monday, I talked about Leslie possibly attempting to kill Laura. And it seems as though what happened is she injected Laura's IV with a bacteria, which gave her which gave Laura an infection and also a mini heart attack or something. I was kind of having a hard time following exactly what happened to Laura with the doctors talking about it. But she's definitely had a setback now thanks to Leslie, and now going to have some heart issues to look out for because of the infection. I'm very glad that Leslie hasn't killed anyone yet. That's what I was talking about on Monday, that would write the character into a corner really quickly. I'm a little worried now that they brought Shanice into the story, because today we'll get to the whole Andre crap, but Shanice caught Leslie in her newest disguise as a nurse. She's going by LuLu now. Add that to the long list of names with Dana, Leslie, Sheila, and Anna. And now LuLu, the nurse. But Shanice caught LuLu snooping on a computer. Obviously, Shanice didn't recognize her. One, because Shanice knows everything that's going on in the hospital. She's a huge gossip, as we've seen. And I do think in those scenes today, Shanice was very much suspicious of LuLu. And that could be dangerous for Shanice in the future. As we know, Leslie is very unhinged and will do whatever it takes to help Eva be a schemer along with her. I hope that doesn't lead to the demise of Shanice, because I find her to be a very entertaining character. You know, if they want Leslie, or whatever we're going to call her, to kill off Laura, you know, fine. Laura's this small little character. Killing off Shanice would annoy me, and I think at that point they would indeed write Leslie into a corner, because at that point my hands are tied and I would have to root for that when Leslie's demise happens, it is permanent. The problem with that, though, is that Leslie has been the most consistent, interesting part of the show. We saw last week without her story that the momentum of the week with the storylines were pretty damn boring. So I'm hoping they don't kill off Shanice. You know, maybe they put Ashley in the story, kill off Ashley. She's a nurse at the hospital too. Put Ashley in there, kill her off. I will be happy. I will throw a party if they kill off Ashley sooner rather than later. I can tell you that much. I will be on here with a drink in hand, throwing a party that Ashley has been killed off, if that were to happen. Also in that story, Nicole, for some reason, Kat left the camera in Nicole's office, and Nicole's just, again, seeing it now, and I guess was annoyed that Kat hadn't disposed of the camera yet. So they got into it, and Eva overheard that and was liking what she was hearing with Nicole giving it to Kat. Then Eva and Kat had a stare down when Eva arrived for work that day, which was nice. Their rivalry continues to give. Of course, Eva's been worried that she's going to lose this temp job now that Laura might be returning, but then Eva got the news that Laura had setbacks. She also heard Ted and Nicole talking about what to do with the whole Laura and Eva thing. Maybe they could get a job for Eva at the country club doing her hairstyling. When Eva was overhearing that, she didn't seem to like that. She wants to be around her daddy and her daddy's wife. So she did tell the news to Leslie that Laura had a setback. And once again, Eva was wondering if her mother had something to do with that. Of course, Leslie did, but she played it off like that was crazy, because how is she going to give, like, Laura a setback and an infection, and Leslie just said it was luck, but Eva seemed to doubt her mother a little bit. So they continue to add to the dynamics of mother and daughter there as well, which has been good for those two. Glad to have them on this week, unlike last week. I guess that leaves us to talk about Andre and Ashley. At the beginning, the first half of the day's episode, I didn't mind the Andre storyline going around trying to record the nurses for his documentary. Some of the nurses not wanting to talk on camera. But then Ted gave Andre a pep talk, and then Andre recorded Shanice. And we got to see that Shanice is actually really good at her job, and that she does her job very well, and Andre got some good footage. That's also what worried me, that later on when Shanice confronts LuLu/Leslie, that could have been like foreshadowing to something bad happening to Shanice. Hopefully not death is all. If they want Leslie to do something to Shanice, hurt her, fine. Just don't kill her off. Because at that point, I can't root for Leslie anymore. It is what it is. But then, just to kill this episode's momentum from almost being a great episode, Ashley shows up towards the end. So Andre could record her and Ashley getting berated by one of the doctors or someone. And then she didn't like that Andre was recording her. And then Derek shows up too, of course, because he has to be involved. And I officially fast forwarded the show for the first time. A couple of those scenes with Andre, Derek, and Ashley. Couldn't watch them anymore. It's just a really bad triangle in literally every single way. It has to be already put up there with one of the worst love triangles in American soap opera history, because it's just not working. So yeah, I know Ashley went on about talking about the fear of losing Derek because he's a firefighter, but I don't care. So the only other thing I didn't talk about is that Tomas and Kat met up again. Still don't think those two have chemistry. Then Tomas met up with Eva. I do think that Eva gives Tomas a spark, but I don't know if it's enough for me. I think both Kat and Eva deserve a better man in the future, because the fact is the guy that plays Tomas can't act. He's very new to acting. He's very green. And even though Eva gets a spark out of him, it ain't enough. I wish they were fighting over a better actor. It would make the whole thing way more compelling. So hopefully neither of those couplings are long-term, because I don't think it's going to be a hit like the show might think it's going to be, because the guy can't act. Sorry, he can't. He's a weak link on the show, just like Ashley is. Right now, those two are kind of the weakest links for me, the overall show. You could say Derek too, but the character of Derek's like so inconsequential that I don't even understand why he's a character and why that actor is on contract. Because they don't actually try with him. That's my biggest problem with him, is that he's like watching paint dry. They don't actually try with him. We got a little bit of try when they tried to make his friendship with Jacob seem more, and then they gave him a scene with Haley. But even that's not been enough to really add to that character. But anyway, overall, today's episode was good outside of Ashley and Derek and kind of Tomas. And yesterday's episode, not the most dramatic, but I still felt it was a good episode that gave us some family dynamics that was needed.